Hi, it's Miss Angie coming at you in the afternoon on a Wednesday. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys today. I'm talking to young women again today, and I'm talking to young women about things that young women should know that older women know. So let me make sure I'm reading it how I wrote it. So give me a second. So I'm talking about a wise woman has learned that a young woman needs to know. That sounds kind of good, huh? Ooh, I wish I had someone say that when I was younger. I'd be like, yes. I used to try to find wisdom wherever I could find it. But things that a wise woman has learned that a young woman needs to know. Isn't that something? And I know that came straight from the Holy Spirit. So let's get started, guys. Okay. The first thing that I believe, now there could be many things, and if you ask many women, you may come up with many different answers. But this is my experience. This is me growing up from a young Christian girl at the age of 13, knowing God and the things that I've experienced, and just because I grew up knowing God, I can't say that it was. I experienced some things. I didn't experience all the. I didn't experience much bad things as I could have experienced, because I'm glad that there's some things I didn't get to experience. Like that song where that young man sings when he says, "Teacher, there are some things that I don't want to learn." I love that song too, and I can't remember his name right now. But I say that all the time. There are some things I don't need to learn. You know what I'm saying? There are some things you don't need to experience, young woman. You don't need to go through everything in order to learn stuff. The best way to learn is to watch, observe, learn from others' mistakes, but not that you keep bumping your head, bumping your head, bumping your head. One bad relationship after the other, one bad man after the other, one abuse after the other. You weren't created to constantly go through all of that. And then you have to deal with people in the culture who have a poor mindset, who Satan has attacked their thinking, where they think very poorly about some people. And you have to experience those type of things on top of dealing with that other foolishness that you walk right into. The things in the culture won't seem quite so out there if you don't have all this other stuff on top of you. At least you can just know that those people have issues. I don't care what race they're from. If they can just look at you and dislike you for no reason, as amazing and beautiful and intelligent and honorable and respectable as you are, you just look like God. And if they can just look at you and dislike you for that, then you know they have issues, and you can just like blow it off and say, you know what, I'm going to keep trucking forward. But the things that you invite into your own life, you know, these guys and stuff, or friendships that are not true friendships. These women that keep stabbing you in the back, that keep hurting your feelings, that keep dogging you out, that just keep treating you like crap, that every time you get around them, you just feel like you just want to shrivel up and go crawl in a corner somewhere. They add nothing to your life, no hope, no happiness. They just suck everything out of your life. They're always looking at you hateful, like they want to just kill you. And you can't be around that kind of spirit for long periods of time and it not affect you. You've got to get from around people that behave like that. And that's the advice I would offer young women. I've seen so many young women in places that I've been employed, and not just one place. I've been employed all over the city. So I don't want anybody to see this video and say, you know, she was talking about us. No, I wasn't. Stop lying. You don't know what you're talking about. I have been working in this city for over 20-something years. I've been employed at many different places. So I am not calling out one specific place. I'm talking to these young women about many different places that I've worked. And I just want to say to these young women that, look, you can't go into these places and just jump into these relationships and jump into these friendships and think that people are going, you don't have any idea what kind of people they are. And you just go jump right in there. And they end up breaking your heart, breaking your heart. I've seen it so many times. And I just want to tell these young women, honey, take your time and make sure that this person is your friend. Make sure this man is a good man. What references have he given you? Who have you called and found out what kind of person he is? I ain't saying check the person's credit and social security number and all that kind of stuff like some people say, do all that. No. But you do need to check something out about what's his last relationship. What's been the MO of his relationships? His method of operation is grabbing a woman and beating her down until she submits. If that's what you want, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what this man's method of operation is. And you need to make sure it's good and it's in your best interest is what I'm trying to say. Some women don't mind going through hell to have a pair of legs, you know, to say that they got something on their arm. And that's all it is something. Because he sure is not the man that God wanted him to be, so he's something. He don't even know what he is. And you're not going to make him into something. And I've seen these young women just get broke down, beat down, lose their jobs, good jobs, I mean good paying jobs. But they got in that job and they just jumped. And this person was no good. I mean absolutely no good. And then they end up leaving, or they end up in such a mess, and they're wondering, where did I go wrong? I just came to work. I just came to make a better living for myself. I just came to, you know, to do what I need to do as a human on this earth. I'm not trying to, you know, bum off anybody, bum off my parents. I just want to work. But they got in, and they didn't use wisdom. You need to read the book of Proverbs, young people. When I was young, I read the book of Proverbs. I don't know if I've ever all finished it, but I've read a lot of it. It wouldn't be difficult for me to finish. I've read a lot of it, and I've lived by it. You have to have wisdom. You don't know a person just because how they look or what they present or what they tell you. And we women are very weak for words. That's why you can't let anything in your ear. Some people are on purposely will mislead you. They already know. And I see beautiful young women. I mean, just gorgeous, just personality. They have such beautiful personalities. I mean, they have such what do you call it? Such for the future. You know, they have such a good future ahead of them, and you know, they have plans and stuff, and you know, just would make wonderful wives. Would make wonderful wives, but they jump. They go to these jobs. Like I said, I've been working in this city for over 20 years. When my children were, I didn't work when my children were babies because I wanted to stay home. So that's why it's just been kind of a short period of time in this city. But I wanted to stay home and train up my children and speak blessings over them and teach them about the Lord, and and just show them a mother's love, and let them know that they are loved in this world. Every one of them. I have children from the lightest to the darkest. That that God just blessed me with pretty much every color child. And that's how my mom is too. Just every color of a child she pretty much has. But I love them all. They all are valuable and precious and beautiful, and so are you, young lady, young man. But tonight I wanted to talk to young ladies about what they should know. And maybe this could help a few young ladies not make the same, I want to say dumb mistakes, and I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just saying the mistakes that can be made can be easily rectified if you would read the Word of God. Just start reading it. You may not, but just read Proverbs. Now, Proverbs, if nothing else you can think about and understand, Proverbs will make sense. The rest, you may say, well, I tried to read the Bible, Miss Angie, and it didn't make much sense to me. But I'm going to tell you, Proverbs is practical. It's a practical wisdom thinking. It'll tell you stuff that you can understand. You know, it talks about a lot of good things. How not to be lazy. You know, how not to lose your life. You know, how to keep your mouth. How to control your eyes. You know, it talks about a lot of practical things. So every young person and every elder person should read Proverbs too. And I love reading Proverbs. I really love it. And Psalms is my favorite, of course. But one of my favorites. But really, all of the Bible I love. You know, but some of it, when you put specific things in your life, you can tend to get more out of some parts of it. But the Holy Spirit can help you in anything. So I'm talking enough to you. I wanted to kind of share that a little bit. So I'm going to go to my first thing. So the first thing that I have written down that young women should know, that wise women know, is self-love is the beginning of God's love for you. That you should have self-love. Young women, you need to have some self-love. You need to have it. And I began to have self-love for myself because I had a mom that taught me to love myself. I'm talking about when I was a little girl. I'm talking about maybe 9, 8, 7. My mom would, you know, encourage me, and you know, I was the oldest of the children, so I don't really remember, you know, if she, what she said to the other children, because, you know, she probably talked to each one differently and aside, but I know my mom would, you know, she would talk to me, and she would tell me stories about when she was in school, and, you know, and how people would be mistreated, and, you know, she would tell me that a young lady should behave like a young lady, and not be chasing guys around. And she would tell me, you know, don't always be hanging around a bunch of men, you know, and stuff like that, because they will tend to disrespect you. And that's another thing that young women do not understand these days. They are always under me. And when I say under men, they just feel like they don't have a life unless it's got something to do with a man. Unless they are right in his face, in some guy's face, agreeing with him, you know, following him around, buying him something, you know, throwing her body at him, trying to get his attention, trying to show him that she's something great. And that's totally opposite of what we were taught and what we know makes sense as a woman. Totally opposite what we taught. My mom did not teach that. My mom taught the total opposite. My mother would get angry when I was old enough to have a boyfriend if I would call him on the phone, because he wanted me to call him sometime. You know, he had brothers and stuff, and they would all have phone time. And so he wanted his girl to call him. And so I told, okay, I'm going to call you, you know. And so when I wanted to call him, my mom, she was like, No, you don't call guys. You wait for him to call you. I said, Mom, he wants me to call him. No, you don't call. Girls don't call guys. He just, no, that's wrong. She did not like that. I mean, she was literally mad. But I convinced her, and I told her it was okay. I called him anyway. But, she didn't like it. She didn't like it. I wasn't really a phone talker anyway, so it really didn't even last long. I talk better in person. I'm not really a phone. I think as I've gotten older, it's better. But during that time, I was kind of shy, and I just wasn't a phone girl. But my mom could. She had the gift of gab. I didn't inherit that. But anyway, my mom taught us, even if guys don't like you, oh well. It wasn't a big thing. If somebody doesn't like you, they just don't like you, and you move on. You don't go lapping up behind anybody trying to get them to like you. They don't like you. That's their decision. You move on. You don't do that. And I'm going to say that to young women today. Stop running behind men. Stop it. Just stop it. You need to stop. It is not that serious. I don't care what the culture says. Then you change the culture. You change it. And stop it. You are worth more than that. And I know it sounds cliche, but how else can we say it as older people? Stop throwing your bodies at these guys. Stop trying to get their attention. A guy knows if he likes you or not. Stop trying to get his attention. If he can't see that you are a good woman and you are wife material and you're worthy, then if he can't see it now, he's not going to see it if you chase him down and try to make him see it. If he's got a bad mind, he's going to say, she's desperate for something. She wants something. Maybe she'll accept this. Maybe she'll accept that. And then you thinking it's love, and it's nothing more than him willing to use you and lusting and willing to get something, free in his life as far as, if he wants to have sex or something with you. Just using you up. Stop it, young ladies. Stop chasing these guys. I don't know who told you that they are the prize of life. There is nothing in this world that has ever said that if you have a man on your arm, you are the most blessed. And so what if other races, we're all the same race, we are the human race. But so what? That means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing for your purpose. God has not changed your purpose because you don't have a black man on your arm. I just had to go there. He has not deleted your purpose because you don't have a man. He has not changed his mind about you because the culture puts out there's a shortage. They've been putting that crap out. You know how many years they've been putting that crap out? There's a shortage. There's a shortage. There's a shortage. There's always a shortage in this community. Well, that's a lie. You can tell it's a lie. But it's a distraction to your purpose and to your life. It's distracting you. And it's keeping you from what God wants you to accomplish. He'll get you a man. If you want a black man, he'll get you a black man. You want a white one, Asian, Hispanic, whatever you desire, God can get it if that's what he wants for you. I'm saying if that's what he wants for you. But what's the purpose of having any man and he doesn't know how to treat you? I don't care what race he is. If he doesn't know how to treat me, if he can't respect me the same way I respect him, I don't care what race he is, I don't want him. And you shouldn't want a man either, regardless of what race he is, if he can't respect you. If he can't see you as a woman. If he can't see you with honor and dignity and goodness and adding value to his life. If he can't see you through the eyes of God, you should not want him. I don't care if he's black, white, purple, pink, brown. You should, like this one brother said, put on your track shoes and start running. So I just had to kind of fuss at y'all a little bit as a mom, because that's the same thing I do to my daughters. I will get on them. I'm like, you know what? No, you were not raised like this. You accepting the wrong thing. But they tended to make some pretty good decisions. So self-love is one. Okay, number 2, remember that smiling faces. This is things that a wise woman has learned that young women should know. The first one was self-love. You should know how to love yourself. The second one you should know, that we know, is smiling faces sometimes tell lies. And when I was a young girl, we used to sing this. It was a song. It used to go, smiling faces, smiling faces, smiling faces sometimes tell lies. You know, and so that's just pretty much saying that just because people seem friendly to you and smile at you does not mean that they always have your best interest at heart. And you need to watch and make sure that people who say they like you and are working for you really are. And when you find out that they aren't, you need to separate yourself. You need to separate yourself. Okay, number 3, what older, wise women know that young women should know is how to persevere, how to push on. It's too many of you young women who are depressed, taking medication, oppressed, don't have the will to move on, to go on. It's too many of you guys that's dealing with that. And I want to say to you that you guys are going to have to learn how to push on. That's something that the older generation of women learn. We learn to make do with the food we had. We would make grocery lists, and we would go and we would, whatever we had to do, we make it stretch. And we would, your bills, you have to make sure your bills stay paid up, and you can't be at the mall all the time spending all kinds of money that you don't have. And you have a car you got to pay, and you got bills, or you staying with somebody and you owe them rent. They don't want to hear that. Nobody, if you're living with somebody and you're paying on the rent, they do not want to hear this, that, and the other. That's going to make it hard. Pay them what you owe. You don't have to have another pair of shoes and this, that, and the other. Take care of those things first, your finances first. Make sure you have a decent place to stay. It's hard. You be out on the street. I see so many women out there, nowhere to go, and they look broke down, because that's a hard life. You always got to be looking over your shoulder. Seems somebody's going to try to knock you in the head or something, or take something from you, or even harm you physically, or rape you out there. And I try my best to give these women a place to stay, give them resources, but you don't want to get there. If you got a decent place to stay, keep it. If your sister or your brother said, look, you can pay me so much, you can stay here, do what they ask you to do. And keep your little butt off the street. You don't want to be out there with a bunch of people whose minds are not right. You too valuable for that. Stay off the streets if you can. Some people have to go, but if you don't have to go, you just have it. You just don't want to abide by no rules. You just don't want to do right. You just don't want to pay anything. You see, you're making it hard on yourself. But The topic was to push, to push. Keep pushing. Take a class. Get an extra job. You may have to get a second job. Because I'm telling you, I don't care what people say about Walmart. You can take care of yourself if you worked at Walmart. I'm not saying stay there. I'm saying if you need to keep a roof over your head, you can work 2 jobs at Walmart. I've done it. I've worked 2 jobs. I have done it. And you can work at a Walmart. You can and then you can work one at another Walmart somewhere, and that would equal up to enough for you to pay for you an apartment in a safe place. Don't just get any old apartment. Don't just get some in a it's a bad neighborhood. People hanging all around. You got a lot of homeless people, and God bless the homeless people. I don't have anything against them, but a lot of them have mental problems. You don't want to be in a neighborhood where a lot of people that have mental problems and illnesses and addictions and stuff like that, because they're not in their right mind. And if they're not in their right mind with themselves, they're not going to be in their right mind around you. So you don't want to put yourself in danger around people that's not where they need to be mentally. So find you an upper scale place that looks decent. Drive by at night, drive by in the day, see how it looks. If it's safe for you to go in and out of your apartment, you got a lot of guys hanging out in the breezeway, don't get that place. You got a lot of people hanging out, don't get it. Don't even get it, because whatever you put in there, they're going to break in there and steal, and you don't want them breaking in there on you. So check it out. There's something that older women know. Check it out. Drive by at night. See who's hanging out there. You see a whole bunch of people hanging out, drinking, and playing dominoes, and like nothing wrong with playing dominoes and stuff. But you are a single woman. You need a safe place where you can go. If you got a lot of guys hanging out, believe me, they watching where you're going. They are watching where you're going. So you don't want a place like that. And I thank God, because I've always prayed over the places that I've went and places that I've moved to and stuff. If people have family that come and stay with them and stuff, and sometimes your family will come and stay, and they don't know the rules that there's no hanging out and soliciting and all that stuff. People want to come home and rest. They don't want to deal with a bunch of foolishness and stuff. And so sometimes their family would try to come and hang out and stuff, and then the neighbors be like, no, no, I'm sorry. You guys want to hang out? You need to go over there to the pool, or go to a park, or go somewhere else, but you're not going to hang out by our house. Go somewhere else and hang out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't need nobody hitting on me every time I try to walk through my front door. I don't need nobody watching. You know what I'm saying? You need your place to be safe. You don't need that. This is not the club. So, I'm just trying to give you a little wisdom from an older woman. The Bible says that the older women should help the younger women, instruct the younger women, teach the younger women. Teach them how to love their husbands, how to love their children. I've been there, done that. I could tell you some things. And a lot of it's good. I could tell you some good things. I could give you some good advice. I could tell you some things that would make you have a successful marriage. Things that I've learned, some things I've learned the hard way, and some things that I've learned growing up as a girl. So that was number 3 in things a wise woman has learned that a young woman should know. And number 3 was push on past the disappointments and hurts in life. Don't let the disappointments and hurts take you down, girls. I know he hurt you. I know the words he said broke your heart. Felt like a knife stuck in your heart. My grandmother used to say your heart could be broken so bad till you literally feel like your heart is bleeding. My grandmother used to say that. And when I was growing up, I was like, what in the world is she talking about? How in the world? That's just... But you know what? When I got grown and I experienced that kind of heartbreak from a divorce, I experienced that kind of heartbreak. I literally felt what I thought my grandmother had said. My heart was broken so bad. I literally thought that I felt my heart bleeding. I'm serious. And I know it may sound crazy. It may sound crazy, but I'm telling you, it can feel like that. Sometimes you can go through so great a hurt. But guess what? You get over it. It may take some time. It took me some years. It did. It took me some years to get over it. You may have to go to your church. They have divorce care. It's very good. I loved it. I went through it twice. I loved it. I had some great mentors that really spoke into my life and helped me to make sense of things and helped me to see things the way God sees it, to see myself in a better light the way God was seeing me and what He wanted for me, and that wasn't what He had prescribed for me. And I mean, I had some great people. So push on past the disappointment. Take a class. Go to your church. Go to a church and say, what kind of counseling do you guys have for singles? What kind of counseling do you have for women and men? What kind of counseling do you have for divorce care? Anything. Go online and check it out, and get in those groups. And in those groups, you find such a help among other people that have been hurt and gone through the same thing and worse. I mean, I was in groups where to hear other people's stories made my story seem like, what? I mean, I heard some stories people were telling about what they had been through in relationships that I was like, Jesus, this cannot be real. She got to be making this up. This sound like a real Lifetime movie. It really did. So it gets better, young ladies. It gets better. You get over it, but push past those disappointments and see what you need to do to get yourself back on your feet, okay? Okay, so that was number 3. Number 4 is know when to quit. Older women, mature women, know when to let go. We absolutely know when to let go. Now, I'm going to tell you, we will give people a few chances. I'm going to give you a couple of chances to see if you're going to act right. Now, if you're going to keep on acting like a nutcase, I'm not going to keep dealing with you. I'm about to shut you down. I'm going to give you a chance to say, okay, maybe she had a bad day. Maybe he had a bad day. That's what I'm going to say. If I'm trying to give a relationship a chance or a friendship a chance, more a friendship. But if I'm trying to give it a chance, I'll see, how this is going to go. But now if you keep on, I'm about to shut you down. I don't have no time for your foolishness. I'm not going to keep playing with you. I gave you chances to act right, act like you want to be a friend. You don't act like that. You keep on coming around me with craziness. Guess what? Get out of my face. Don't talk to me no more. I'm sorry. That's what older women do that younger women don't know. We shut it down. We know when to say, you know what? That's enough. That's it. Another thing that wise women have learned that young women should know is when to stay. Wise women know when to stay. And like I said, I've worked in the city for some years, over 20-something years. And, all the time when problems happen on jobs or wherever, or problems happen in your life, your relationship, sometimes if you're newly married and you've just been married and you guys are giving up before you grow up together, you need to stay. Unless you're being physically abused, the children are being abused, something drastic. But I'm saying, just because y'all don't agree on what color to paint the house, or you don't agree on the house chores, or you don't agree on the education of the children, or you don't agree on money or sex, how many times a week or whatever, if you don't, just because you don't agree with each other on things, that's no reason to leave. Just because you're not agreeing. And that's something I learned, because when I was a young wife, I thought, hey, I'm talking about the first, second year of marriage, I'm thinking, if he's not agreeable and he's giving me kind of a hard time, I need to pack up and go. But I didn't have endurance and perseverance, and so I didn't really have anybody that taught that just because he's being difficult is not a reason to leave. Yes, it is painful. It hurts. It doesn't feel good. It's not a great atmosphere. You're used to loving that person, and they've kind of made you like an enemy. You feel like enemies to each other, but that doesn't mean you should leave. Sometimes, you just need to stay and just deal with it and let him go in his room. He's having some issues or whatever. Let him go in his room, you go in yours. You find something else to do. Find a hobby, find something else. Go find you some girlfriends or whatever to kind of ease the pain of that. But unless it's something drastic or something abusive, something like that, sometimes you need to stay. Sometimes you need to stay. Even at work, sometimes you need to stay. And you may need to cut some friendships loose. But sometimes you will have to stay. Okay, another thing is, know who not to open the doors of your life to. Oh my God, that's a big one. We're talking about things a wise woman has learned that young women should know. And young women, you need to know not to open your life up to everybody. You watch this stuff on TV, you watch these housewives, and you watch this, all these things, hip hop this and Atlanta that, and let me tell y'all something. That stuff is staged, is not real, and if it is real, it is terrible. Do you see, how some of these people are acting, and you open your life to just anything? You're not doing no kind of research on this person to see what kind of personality this person has. Have they been abusive to other people? Are they hard to get along with? Can you trust them around your husband? Can you trust them around your children? Can you trust them around you? Can you trust them around you? You know what I'm saying? Some people you can't even trust around you. They'll snatch you like that. What's that guy from New Orleans said? Hide your cats, hide your husband, hide everything. Some people, honey, you need to hide it all, because they'll snatch the skin off you. My grandmother used to say they'll steal the what she used to say, they'll steal the white off of rice. Now that's some stealing. She also say they would steal the sugar out of cornbread. My grandma used to say that. Yeah, she said that person is so bad they will steal the sugar out of cornbread. And they didn't put too much sugar in cornbread then. Not they got Jiffy come out later, but they would make their own cornbread and they would put a little sugar in there. And she would say, honey, that person will steal the sugar out of cornbread. And boy, that's somebody right there. That's a tough person you don't want to deal with. So you can't open the doors of your life to anybody. But young people, these young people, the ones of you who call yourself millennials, I call you just young adults who just need some love and guidance and need to read the book of Proverbs. um, but, you guys grown up, you just trust everybody. You just trust everybody. You think everybody is on the up and up until you learn that they're not. And we grew up just the opposite. We grew up thinking, okay, can this person be trusted? Do I know them like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, half your eye, one of your eyes open, and you watching them like that. So that's kind of how we grew up, in that generation. So, um, check things out. I'm not saying be skeptical of everybody like that, but at least do your due diligence when you are opening your life up and having people come to your house and ride in your cars and you going out with these different people. Make sure they're on the up and up, okay? They could be on the up and up, but you make sure for you. Okay, and then the next one is know your value all by yourself. Things that a wise woman has learned that young women should know is how to be by ourselves. And wise older women know how to be by themselves. You just know. You know how to be by yourself and not always feel like you got to be in the crowd. You got to be in the group. You have to be accepted. People have to like you. We got all mixed up with this, what do you call this thing where you get all these likes and stuff. Is that Facebook and stuff? Where you get all these likes and stuff? We get our mind all caught up in that, which doesn't mean a thing. It absolutely doesn't mean anything. And if you have a couple good friends in your life, you need to count yourself blessed. You really do. But, just wanting everybody to like you, you setting yourself up for failure. Because everybody's not going to like you. And nowadays, people have more hate than ever. People have more hate than ever. So, older women have learned how, if I find a few good friends, and I've had some good friends in my life. I've had a few good ones. I haven't had a lot of good friends, but I've had a few good friends. I've had a couple of women in my life where I could really say that I loved them as friends, and that they loved me as a friend, and that we had each other's best interests at heart. And I mean, it's only been like 2 or 3 my whole life, and I'm 53. So I haven't had, that kind of experience where all these hundreds of women and 25, 30 women and all that kind. No, I've had 2, 3 at the most good friends that I could say we had the same heart. You know what I'm saying? When I call good friends, I'm not looking at a person's color. I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at, their economic status and what they have and don't have. I'm not looking at their beauty. I'm not looking at any of that. I'm looking at their heart. Do we have the same heart? Are we going the same direction? Do we think similarly? We have to think exactly the same. We can't. But do we think along the same lines? Do we have the same values? And I've had a couple of friends in my life that I could say that, I've given to them and they've given to me. And, we don't, what do you call it, cling to each other. We're not clingy. We understand that we have to work, we have things to do, and what we did is we got together when we could get together. And we weren't all clingy. You didn't call me. You didn't do this for me. And that's just selfish and childish. And I love that about them. Friendships that are mature women. Not always at your house, causing problems, with your husband. You know, he can't even get your time with you because they're always at the house. They always got a problem they need to talk to you about, you know, or trying to talk to your husband about. Like, what kind of crap? so, so anyway, so the next one, that one was know your value all by yourself. You know, okay, and the next one is how to call on God. How to call on God. Does this generation know how to call on God? I think some do. I really do. But you know, in the previous generations, we called on God. We did. And you didn't necessarily have to be, quote unquote, a Christian. And I think in this generation too, there are some that call on God. I listen when I used to drive my son to school, he used to love to listen to K104 and 97.9. And I was very surprised to hear that they would play gospel music in there. They would have the Word of God on those stations. And even with the other music, I think it's just something within us to say, look, no matter what, we know that there's a creator. We know that there's a God, and he just got to be in everything. I'm sorry, you know, some people don't understand. I've heard people say that. I don't understand how y'all can play gospel music and with secular music. But you know what it is? It's a thankfulness to God. It's a thankfulness to God. Regardless to where you are in life, it's saying, God, I acknowledge you. I may not be walking how I need to walk, but I acknowledge you as being God. And we're going to take this time out to just say, God, I honor you. And that's how we grew up. You know, we may not have understood all of Christianity and following Christ, but we would take some time to say, Lord, we honor you. We honor you for giving us this food to eat. We honor you for giving us bus fare. You know, we honor you for giving us a car. We honor you for having clothes on our back. That's what that's about. So this generation has to learn how to incorporate God and just honor God. And you will see God begin to honor you in this generation. He wants to. Okay. Another thing that older women, wise women have learned that young women should know is how to keep a healthy body. Yes. How to keep a healthy and clean body. And you know, those things come with getting older. Learning what works for your body, what works for your skin, what works for your hair, your teeth, you know, your eyes. You know, all those things come with getting older. Um, the woman I am today is quite different than the young woman that I was. You know, the young woman that I was, I liked different products and stuff like that, but I didn't know, you know, the extent of certain things, the use of certain things, why certain things were important, you know, the importance of you know, going to the doctor every so often, the importance of taking vitamins and minerals. You know, when you're a young woman, you've got all those things going on in your body. You got more than you need. You know, so you're not really trying, but you know, when you become an older woman, you see the value in those things. And when I was a younger woman, I did try, but you know, it's just something that older women learn. Older women know how to keep their bodies clean all the time. They know how to smell good. You know, they know how to, you know, many of them know how to carry themselves as older women, and that's just a blessing of being an older woman, carrying yourself as such. Not that you're snooty and stuck up and hateful. You just carry yourself in a different mannerism because you got that age, you've got that experience, you've got that time behind you, and you know what's important, what makes sense, what's common sense. You've learned so much. And so you younger women are trying to get there. You're trying to make sense of it all. But find an older woman that's respectable, that can be a mentor, even if she just talks to you on the phone. And you can ask her some personal hygiene questions. You know, young men too, they should do that. You should find a man and say, you know, can I call you sometime and maybe just ask you a couple of questions? I got questions about how to take care of my body as a young man. And have you experienced this? And as a young woman, you can ask this older woman, have you experienced this? And how did you get over this? And how did you get over the hurt? And how did you do this? How do you have babies and you know, and take care of yourself? And, you know, you need that. You need that. I had that in my mom, and my mom had friends, and you know, and I had a lot of sisters. I had 9 sisters, younger than me. So you know, some of the sisters were old enough where we could talk, 1 or 2, we could talk about things, you know. But you have aunts, you know, uncles. So yeah, find you somebody that you can call. You may not can get with them all the time if their schedule is hectic, if they have a husband and children, but you can say, look, do you have like 10 minutes on a Thursday or Monday or something, or the weekend? I just want to ask you like a couple of questions or something. You know, see how that goes. You know, be mindful of their time, because you know, sometimes time can be scarce with families, you know, so don't be offended. And then the last thing that I want to talk about that wise women have learned that young women should know is that trouble doesn't last always. Troubles don't last. Things change, young woman. And what you're going through today, a year from now, won't seem so bad. 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, won't seem, you'll barely remember. Things that I've gone through in my life, I thought would just knock me out of the water. I barely even remember. I mean, even recent things within a year or 2, disappointments, and I give those things to God. And you've got to forgive people. You've got to go on. But it's not going to last. The pain, the embarrassment, whatever it was, it's not going to last. So don't be talking about you want to take yourself off this earth, and don't be talking about if nobody likes you. Don't even say that, because it's not true, because you're talking to a person right now who likes you. So you can't say everybody doesn't like you. And guess what? The Lord Jesus Christ likes you. He loves you. And He likes you. He likes your personality. He likes how you look. He likes how you talk. He likes how you walk. He likes everything about you. Everything about you, He likes. He just wants to grab you and hug you all day long. Trouble won't last always. It won't. Now I want you to put your shoulders back. I want you to sit up straight. I want you to get a determination in your mind that you're going to have the best life regardless to who tries to get in your way, tries to make you feel bad. I don't care if it's at school, at work, in the store, whoever. I don't care. You are going to keep your mind straight on what you're trying to accomplish. You're not going to be moved by people that try to get in your way. You're not going to hurt people or anything like that, but I'm just saying, you don't have to let them shake you. Why do you got to be under somebody's foot? Why do you have to be down, sad, crying? Why can't you be on top? You're on top. You're good. You're respectable. You're honorable. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're created. You're wonderfully created by God. What do you mean? You could be on top too. You are on top. Like R.C. Blake said, you're on top and you're going higher. I like that statement that he said. You're on top and you're going higher. You are the winner. I pronounce you the winner. The winner is you. You are the winner. Yes. Can you hear those words in your mind? Just think about that, saying that to yourself. Say it. I am the winner. Just imagine somebody telling you, the winner is, you are the winner. Believe that. Say it. Say, I don't care what your circumstances, what it feels like. Write down the most positive things you can write down and just speak it out of your mouth. I know your tongue doesn't even want to say it, but make your tongue say it. Make your mind think it. Make your eyes see it. Make your ears hear it. You are the winner. You're going to have a great relationship. Loving, passionate, beautiful, amazing, admirable, great. It's coming. So I just want you to know tonight, I hope that this helped. I know this video is kind of long. I had some points written down I wanted to get to. I still didn't get to those, but we're almost, yeah, it's kind of long. So I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video, and stay strong, okay? Stay strong, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.